Hi guys, welcome for a new episode from Talk BL. Another week, another episode. Today we are trying to be a little earlier to give you the updates about what happened last week. What are we looking for this week, and what are our team and how much points we got each. I didn't do so great last week. I ended up getting 57 points out of my team. A lot of lit backs in the team. Bailey didn't start. Sancho with another bad performance. Arsenal didn't keep their clean sheet. So do Liverpool. And yeah, so far my team also Aston Villa couldn't keep their clean sheet from Martinez and the post. So my team doesn't look too great. I probably need to do some transfers. For this week, I went for the easy option, and I just transferred Andreas just to make sure all my players in the bench are playing as well, just for the longer run. But probably from next week onwards, I might need to do some transfers around Bailey and Sancho. But yeah, I am trying not to start with Bailey next week, just because he usually comes in. So I'm probably going to start with Nick Williams in the defense. So yeah, that's basically my decisions for next week.
Oh,
And for the captain, I'm going for Holland just because he might have the easier team. I might switch it to Jesus last second, but let's wait and see.
that's an interesting choice, Mahmoud. To captain Holland against Newcastle. Newcastle have maintained two clean sheets so far, and they have had a pretty strong defense since the beginning of the season. So, what made you go with Holland?
I see that City has been creating a lot of chances lately. They've been looking pretty solid. I think Newcastle is good in the defense, but I don't think good enough to keep a clean sheet against City. And if anyone would score, it would be Haaland for
Fair
sure.
enough. Fair enough. And how satisfied are you with your team? Because I see a couple of interesting names which might raise some eyebrows. So,
It's so tempting to do my wild card at the moment, honestly, with this.
is that the case?
Already. So yeah, there's a few names I need to change already as Bailey and Sancho keep going. I want to give Sancho more chance, but he hasn't been proving himself at all.
Well, Manu
So
are recruiting, so what how do you think Manu is gonna change after Casemiro joins them in the CDM position, and they are also in talk with Ajax about Anthony. So, do you think they can play a significant role to turn the table around?
they can definitely do some changes, especially Casemiro is gonna do a lot of changes. I hope Maguire gets subbed off. I really want to see Varane and the other guy, I forgot his name, playing in the center back together.
Martinez.
Yeah, I want to see Martinez and Varane playing together. We might see a different team with that. What about you, Kabir? Do you want to
My
let us
team
know
is fairly
how
the
much
same.
points you got last week?
I got just above. I got just above the average, so it's not doesn't hasn't been the best week for me, I would say. I got 67 points for my contribution. I had Captain Holland instead of Salah, and that kind of paid off. Considering that I got 10 points out of him, I wish I had Captain Jesus because that was one of the confusion I had. But it is what it is at this point, right? I'm kind of depressed and sad with how Liverpool performed the first two game week. They didn't maintain clean sheet in either of them, and I had gone double. I had doubled up on defense with from Liverpool, so I was kind of not happy there. But
Hmm.
I'm hoping that things change moving forward.
Yeah, choosing the captain is definitely one of the hardest decisions at the moment between Haaland, Jesus, and Salah. None of them seem to be the most consistent. I think so far Haaland at least is giving something every game. But yeah, let's wait and see.
Another depressing player or another player I'm not too happy with so far in the first two game week is Saka because it was much of a hype to get him, considering the form Arsenal's been at. But I think Martinelli has been outperforming him significantly, and at this point, I'm considering, do I really want to keep the 8 million Saka or switch to like a 6.3 million Martinelli who's contributing to more points?
Martinelli's shape looked pretty good last game, to be honest. The
Yes,
way
like
the way he moves around, the way he passes, the way he's chemistry with Jesus.
exactly. He has a good link up with Jesus,
Hurt.
and they have been doing some good.
Yeah, definitely. Arsenal also are more focusing in the depth this year. I can see more than last year. They were more focused on the wingers.
Yeah,
I can see that they're going for the attacks right in the depth. They don't waste time too much in the wingers. It's definitely interesting.
well, I'm planning of keeping the three from Arsenal moving forward because they have really good fixtures coming up. So let's just quickly switch back to my team for next week. Show soccer. Okay, so for next week, I did make one transfer. I took Bailey out, and I brought in I think David De Silva or Josh De Silva. I got him in. Brentford performed phenomenal against Manu, and there was this big question like how would they cope with Ericsson leaving them. I think they have done pretty well. They did phenomenal pressing against Manu, and this is their number 10 now. So and he cost only 4.5. Well, I got him when he was 4.5. Now it's 4.6. But I think if as a backup, I would have him over Bailey at this point because he kind of fell down the pecking order. So with having that said, my lineup for next week, I'm going back five. Well, it's a I'm kind of in a debate for now if I want to go with Trippier in my starting 11 or if I want to bring in Neto, considering that Trippier is facing Man City and Man City is definitely scoring. On the other hand, Neto is facing Tottenham away, and Wolves hasn't been the best scoring team this season. So I'm hoping that like Trippier gets that one lucky goal or something. If not, worst case scenario, he gives me the 2 points. I do see Haaland scoring or De Bruyne, either of them scoring, but I don't see City scoring like 4 or 5 goals against Newcastle. Again, like I pitched earlier in the like in our video that I see Newcastle like finishing way top of Manu. I see Newcastle finish like at least on the top half, so I'm kind of backing them to some extent. Um, which is why I think like they'll concede, but not like a lot of goals. On the other hand, for my captain's gonna stay Salah. For this week, I switched it from Haaland to Salah, and my sole purpose of switching this switch is how Manu has been performing. If pressing is what's Manu struggling with, I see like Liverpool exploiting that a lot, especially with Nunes with his red card last week. That's going to be a good point to talk about later on, like what he did and why he did that. But with Nunes getting the red card, it's Firmino starting in front three, and he loves to press.
Mm.
So when you see think of those, and Salah is like when Nunes is there, I feel like he kind of takes the central position, the role to score the like make the final touch and score. But in his absence, the this responsibility will go more on to Luis Diaz and Mo Salah, and Bobby's gonna play more so the false nine role, where he just gives those crucial passes. So, considering all those and considering how Manu has been performing for the last 2 weeks, I captained Salah this week. I know I'm hoping Haaland and Jesus scores goals, but I think Salah's gonna outperform in terms of points. Because even if Salah scores one goal, that's like more points than Haaland or Jesus scoring a goal. So that's my justification behind giving Salah the armband for game week 3. I'm still not sure if I want to keep Trippier. I might switch him with Neto.
Do you think Casemiro has a chance to catch the game this Monday?
I highly doubt he might, like, it's too early because the deal has kind of been confirmed. Medicals yet to be done. Plus, he has not practiced with the team yet. I think it's more so that this week they're going with McTominay and Fred just to give some support to defense because last time they went with one CDM and that didn't work out too well for them. But I'm hoping that from next week onwards, Casemiro will get some time to settle down, have some practice, like training sessions going on with the team. That way, it's just a smooth transition into like starting a game rather than just all of a sudden switching the entire team, and then you don't expect a player to perform because there's no chemistry or understanding at that point. Um, so yeah, and I'm not even sure if FPL allows you to take Casemiro. I'm gonna quickly check that.
I don't think so. I think it's too early.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. MANU, Manchester United, midfielders. Yeah, I don't see him being an option yet. So he's definitely
Mhm.
not starting this week because although agreement has been reached, the medical still to like yet to be confirmed, and medicals yet to be confirmed. Plus, he at least needs a week to train with the team just so that he can gets an understanding of how different players play.
Mm. Can we talk about Leeds United with the tie 2-2 last week? Rodrigo seems to be a consistent person.
Rodrigo scored in both his start with Leeds this season so far, so he's definitely an option. I think he goes around 6 or 6.5.
6.1. It's
Okay,
very
6.1. So that's a good option for sure. But if I have the fun, I would rather go for Martinelli over him. And
mm.
my bias for picking Martinelli over him is because of these fixtures they have. Well, I know they show Manu as a red, but I consider that like a big green at this point. So like Arsenal has like really good fixtures up until like let's say game week 9 where they face Tottenham.
Mm.
So I would if I have 6.1, then I would try to squeeze in the point two and just get Martinelli instead.
Apart from next game, also Rodrigo has a few good games for him.
They do. Like I would go if I can, I'll bring in both. But if I'm to pick one, I would rather go for Martinelli over Rodrigo.
Mm.
Rodrigo does have like a good chance of scoring now that Bamford's injured. He'll most probably take the like striker position, so he's gonna score a couple more for Leeds. But then again, like if I am to bet again, like against Leeds or Arsenal, I'm going with Arsenal.
Mm.
That would be my justification. I'm already maxed out on Arsenal players, so if I do want to switch, it's most probably Saka who's going out for me and getting replaced by Martinelli. So I have some extra fund that I can invest, like switch Neto or add to Neto and get a better player out of him. That could be a move for me, but that's like in 2 weeks. I don't plan of like the starting 11 that I have now. I plan of keeping the exact team next week, because they like next everyone like Liverpool is having a really good fixture, which is Bournemouth. Arsenal has a really good fixture. Fulham, City has very good fixture with Crystal Palace home. So considering it all out, and I think Brentford has an easy as well. They are facing Everton. So considering like game week 4, I'm not making any change to, and Trippier is definitely staying in game week 4 because they're facing Wolves, I believe. Yes. So that's why I'm keeping Trippier. Otherwise, I would have switched him this week. But I think Trippier can contribute to good points when picked. Like when the game, like obviously not against City or Liverpool. Those are the two fixtures he's gonna get. But other than that, if you exclude game week 3 and 5, it's a good run of games for Newcastle. And when you
I
consider,
think definitely Newcastle is a good back right after game week 5.
yeah,
Uh, Fabian Schär as well has been
yes,
pretty
he's
consistent.
been good as well. The only issue with him is he did get a boost in terms of price. He increased by point.
Two goals back to back.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's just one
that might be
goal
an
on.
option, but that could also open the topic to: do you want Fabian Schär? Do you want to bring in, let's say, a Korea or like a Kyle Walker in your team, right?
Do you think there would be under 4.6?
They won't. Like I'm saying, if you have the fund, like, well,
Yeah,
you can't squeeze in 4.6. You go either with 4.5 or 5.0, right? At this point, because,
yeah, but I mean for the price of Schär, I don't see too many good players too.
well, even if you are to afford Char, you have to switch at least a 5 million defender at this point to be the least. All right.
That's true.
So once you switch a 5 point, do you want to go for invest the 4.5 and grab Char, or do you want to like use the 5 and get like say Kukurea for 5, right?
Fair. Yeah.
Um, so when you consider those, I do want to like bring in, like, I'm a big fan of Kukurea because he's really offensive, like attacking minded. So he will give those points, and I want to get rid of Zinchenko because, well,
Mm.
as much as I want him, but like I don't see him being as attacking minded as, let's say, a Kyle Walker or Mark Cucurella.
Mm.
Um,
Can we talk about Bailey and how his performance has been bad?
um,
He hasn't been starting last week. He went from like 70% of people selecting him to 11%.
well,
Uh,
I think it has all come to like him performing phenomenally in preseason, and then at the same time, Aston Villa buying more midfielders. So when he didn't perform or underperformed in game week 1, Steve G is more like checking other players and see how they perform. I think that made the big switch because I think in preseason he had like 3 goals and 2 assists in 3 games or something like that. And then I think at this point it's too early to say that he won't get any game time, but I think it's more like Steve G is like checking which player can contribute more to his team rather than who performed well before. So if I'm one of the people who still had Bailey, I got rid of him because I wanted to have this extra point 0.5, like I have point 0.5 in my bank now.
mm,
And David De Silva, De Silva has like he's definitely starting for Brentford in Ericsson's absence. So I was like, okay, because Bailey was more so my backup midfielder. Like in case something happens, Bailey gives me those 2 points. So since De Silva is giving me the 2 points, I would rather save that point 0.5 and invest it somewhere else. That was my thinking behind switching it. But if you are, let's say, someone who currently holds him, I would maybe hold him for a like at least a week just to see how things fold. I do see him getting a little bit more time than last week, but if he doesn't perform much, I think it's like his price gonna drop. So that's something to consider.
yeah, for sure.
So with that, this is gonna be my lineup going into game week 3. I'm not the most.
What's your predictions of the next games coming up?
Um, I see City having a decent game, like not like as good of a game as they had last week, but let's say a goal or two, like for City, and maybe none conceded.
Hmm.
Um,
Arsenal is looking pretty strong too. Do you think they can get away with a clean sheet and a high score against Bournemouth?
oh,
It's at
I'm
Bournemouth
betting
home though.
I'm betting on Arsenal scoring like loads of goals for the next couple of weeks and maintaining clean sheet as well. Like Bournemouth, Fulham, Aston Villa, Man City, Everton, Brentford. up until Tottenham, I see them keeping clean sheet and scoring loads of goals. I'm gonna reduce my number of Arsenal players after game week 9 when they start facing, let's say, Tottenham, or before game week 9. I'm sorry, before they face Tottenham, Liverpool, and City. But till then, I'm gonna try like max out my Arsenal picks for sure because I see them like, well, I hope they get like loads of clean sheets and Jesus scores a lot. I did want to bring in Ramsdale, but I had to take a -4. So that's why I'm like, I'm still going with Allison. Going back to the point that like the Liverpool defense has been not so great so far. And I have two defenders from Liverpool. I wanted to like lighten the Liverpool influence in my defense, but for now I'm hoping ManU keeps performing the way they have been performing. Hopefully I get to switch, or like maybe Andres next week or Neto next week. Just shuffle up my subs.
What's your prediction for Man U Liverpool? It's the biggest game of this week.
Oh, Man U Liverpool. It's going to be a riot going on in Anfield. Or actually, it's in Old Trafford, right? It's going to be a riot going on in Old Trafford. I see it like Man U getting dismantled. Like there is no way around. If they fell under pressure with Brentford, like Liverpool is known to be a attacking team. Like Liverpool's defense is kind of weak because all their wing backs join the attack as well, right? And along with their mid, so it's like just the two center backs mostly most of the time defending. So when you consider 8 players going after Man U defense, I see the whole team scoring against them. Like at least for now, if things stays the same for Man U. So I'm going like City, like I said, I'm going with Salah captain, and I hope he gives me like a 50-60 points return this week. Like that's my assumption on how Liverpool is gonna perform against Man U. Hopefully Man U comes back. Man U is a
I,
good side.
I think it's gonna be a good game. I think Man U will have to step up in this game.
I want Man U to step up just because they have such rich history, and it's just disheartening to see them like fall so far. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. Like at least not in the next couple of game weeks. Maybe Casemiro comes, Anthony comes, and then like they can bring in some extra reinforcements, right? Ronaldo decides to stay and become serious because Ronaldo at this point is like really distracted. He's just like standing in the pitch because he has to stand there. So hopefully all those little things that's causing chaos in the locker room get solved.
Yeah, I feel like they should have finished the transfer market way earlier
Exactly,
to
exactly.
set up.
Um, I wouldn't be surprised if Ronaldo gets benched as well next week. I think Martial should get a chance if he's fit.
I don't know about Marcel. Honestly,
He
he's not
performed
good at
good.
at this
Like preseason, he had good links up with the team with Rashford. Let's say Van de Beek. They had like a couple of phenomenal goals. So if
point. We'll see.
Ronaldo is not taking things seriously, I would consider him as an option. But for now, it's pretty certain that Ronaldo is starting.
They need another striker for sure
Yeah,
before.
exactly. They are like they as per rumors they have been looking into a couple of options. There's this rumor that they reached out to Chelsea for Christian Pulisic for a loan move, but Chelsea is more interested in selling him rather than sending him on loan. So that'd be an interesting to see how that rolls up. But for now, it's their usual starting lineup with 4-2-3-1, I believe, with McTominay and Fred supporting defense. If Maguire starts, I'll be happy, and that's like a biased reason for it because I know then Liverpool scoring a lot of goals.
Mm.
But like you said, if they start with Varane and let's say Lisandro Martinez, I think they have a better, like a stronger back than when Maguire is playing. He used to be a really good defender, but now for lately he's not up to the mark to play for a team like Man
He had enough chances, honestly, at this point.
U. Exactly.
Uh, Before we wrap it up, what do you think the issue with Liverpool getting tying two games back to back with small teams?
I think the issue with Liverpool is their midfield. With
Mm.
Thiago
Yeah,
injured,
well, they injured,
they don't have the like Thiago was there kind of that man like playmaker who gives you those long passes and those critical like switches the play from time to time. With his absence, no one's doing that. Harvey Elliott started for them last week, and he had a pretty good game. Like he was there taking the ball, doing those passes. But then again, like he's no Thiago, right? At least not
mm,
yet. So I feel like Liverpool at this point is lacking that midfield control.
mm.
Other than that, their attack, like Nunez, as although he scored two, all everything's good. I don't know why he did that. Like that was a really dumb move, I would say. Like headbutting the defense when you know that Jota is
Yeah,
injured.
like he should be held accountable for that.
Exactly, like when you know the team is kind of lacking some sort of depth. With Jota injured and Thiago injured, there's not many options Klopp has. Plus, he got like a ban now, so now they have to just deal with what they have, right?
Mm,
Considering it all, like it's Liverpool, like they'll perform. It's just that not on like up to the like expectation of what fans have out of them. Like they will score, they will create, get those chances, but is it the best form they're at? No.
mm,
Can they get better? Of course they can. The only team, in my opinion, well, only teams, in my opinion, that has been consistent since the beginning of this season, and I can blindly say, okay, whoever they're facing, either they're winning or they're giving a tough fight, is City and Arsenal at this point. The rest, I think, needs some work to get there.
mm.
So, yeah, but you cannot like you can never like leave Liverpool out. They can always bounce back. That's what they
Yeah.
are. So,
Do you think it'll be hard for them to maintain a clean sheet for the next few games?
they have been struggling in that term with the clean sheet because Arnold and Robertson goes all the way up attacking, right? And
Yeah.
that makes their back vulnerable to counterattacks, which is how they scored most of their goals.
Mm,
But that's an issue that has been there for like seasons now. Like Liverpool last season was the same. They are kind of a little bit more vulnerable than City, let's say, in terms of defense. But then again, their play style is offense, right? So
yeah.
when you consider that, well, will they maintain against Man U? I say yes. Against Newcastle, up till Newcastle, I like they should be able to keep clean sheet for till game week 8 against Chelsea. I wouldn't bet on it,
Mm,
but till then, yes, they have like what 3 home games, 2 away games, and away games are against Man U and Everton. So I'm hoping they do. That's why I still have Allison and Arnold, but well, those were the expectation from game like the first 2 game weeks as well, which didn't go quite as my plan. So let's see how that goes. For now, I'm keeping them. If I do switch my defense, it's most probably Arnold going out or Allison going out, either of them. And
mm,
depending on who goes, most probably it's going to be a City player coming in for me.
yeah. Okay, I think we covered everything for this week. And again, just a reminder for everyone, if just let us know in the comments which player are you picking for this game week for a chance to win a $100 gift card. And yeah, that will be at the end of the month. And yeah, so don't forget to comment and like and subscribe, of course.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for watching. And like Mahmoud mentioned, do like and subscribe. We'll be posting more such videos. As the transfer window is about to close, we'll also make a video with all the content of who are the crucial players that got signed this transfer window and who are the the players to look out for. Maybe that could give you some sort of insight in terms of your future transfers. And yeah, so do hit the bell icon so that you always know when we're posting a video.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.